Okay, so this is a very, very different video than I planned for what I was intending to. And no, the title is not clickbait. I have had what is my first, somehow my first ever major radio control crash in my 28 years of life and the past 2 decades of experience with hobby grade RC cars. Somehow it has taken this day to happen. Basically, I was making a video about my Plasma Edge 2 and an upgrade that I was putting in that. I was taking out the gear setup and I was putting in a belt configuration, and when I went out to test it, I don't really want to spoil too much because I want you guys to... I mean, I probably practically included it in the thumbnail, but I just don't really want to spoil what happened. But I'll give a brief summary. It got to a point, because it was so powerful, it lacked traction on the ground, and then it all went disaster from there. So with that being in mind, let's just take a look at what happened and how this video went so horribly wrong. So for this video, we're going to be coming back to this. So this is my Tamiya Plasma Edge 2 on a TT02B chassis. And for those who are unfamiliar, I actually put a brushless drive system in this instead of the brush system that it came with, which seems to have backfired in some ways. I mean, it goes really, really fast, but the drive system itself isn't quite coping with this. I've had to replace the tub chassis twice, and the gearboxes have recently shredded. And the reason for that being is because I took this out for a cruise recently, and I was very, very gentle on the throttle. However, a 10-year-old who my family was with basically was not gentle. In fact, I can't be bothered to get one of my own pistol guns. So I've got my dad's one up here. So I was going very gentle on the throttle like this. However, despite telling this 10-year-old multiple times, he kept doing that, pulling it all the way back. I told him to go gentle on him, and I told him not to pull it all the way back, and he still continued to pull it all the way back. And let's just go to a video of that moment happening.
Oh, he knows it.
Hang on, bring it back there. Hang on.
Maybe I should go.
I think that's it. No, it's the... Hang on. I told him to be gentle on the throttle. Yeah, so I'm dreading to think what the gearbox in this will look like. But the reason I'm making this video is because of a upgrade that I'm going to be trying out for it. So I'll just get this. This worktop is a mess, so I'll just put it over here. Okay, so also just that's my Henglong Saga Sport from the previous video, which I'm trying to find parts for. So the upgrade that I'm going to be trying out is this. And you can't really see it very well because of the label on both sides of the packet, so I'm going to try and get this open. Also, you may have noticed no smoking paraphernalia for once. It's a long story. I'll probably explain that at the end of the video. But yeah, this is what I'm going to be trying out. It's a belt setup rather than a gear setup, which I hope to be more beneficial, although that's a lot wider. Actually, I haven't had a good look at the gear in there, so I'll probably take the... I forget what size the gear is, so I'll just have to do a comparison. But I think it could also mean much more robust and much more reliable, but I'll just take the body off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the screws off of the gearbox cover, and we'll have a look and see what it's like inside. Okay, so I've loosened all the screws, and here we go. Let's see what it looks like inside. Oh, okay, well that's weird. There's not. I was expecting there to be more shreddings and debris in there. And you know what's weird is when I start rolling it, it seems to be... Well, something in there doesn't sound right. But I'm sure that if I get this going, it will probably start you know, doing the thing again. So the plan is, I want to do a bit of comparison. So yeah, that is, okay, that's much smaller, so this could be very interesting. Now, so the plan is basically to get this gearbox, well, out, get the pinion gear off the motor, and get this new system on. Probably going to get that motor plate on as well. And let's just see how this whole thing goes.
You've seen all the way to yourself, just you know what it meant, so you don't get away. Now times reconnected, I'm gonna forget it tonight is done. That's ending on my face, ending in my ways.
Okay, so I tried a few times. Basically what I did was I mounted the motor at a higher tooth number. I think it was 19 originally, but that didn't quite work out, and now it's at 20, which is the highest tooth number I can mount on this plate. Also, yeah, that I forgot to put on. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I won't need it. Hang on, is the autofocus... Oh yeah, autofocus is on, so that's good. Yeah, so I've selected it, I put it at the highest tooth number I could go of, and it sounds good. But there is a tiny little bit of... Actually, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. There is a little bit of crimping going on. But overall, sounds pretty good. So what I'm going to do is just basically get the... I'll take care of that later. I've got to remember which way around it goes. It goes that way. So, here we go. Let's get this back on. Alright, so despite hearing a couple of cracks... It's on there nice and tightly. I'll probably have to double check the that I've got the polarity right on the brushless motor. But anyway, so I'll just get the body on just so to get it blah 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 and so on and so on. Once I've done a few checks, I'll take it over to the park to see how this thing runs with the belt configuration in it. Alright, so I've taken it out to a long stretch of road that's a short walk from my house. So this is, kind of seems like the quieter and more perfect opportunity to test this out. So, driven it for a little bit, but not sent it at full throttle yet, so that's still making that noise. It's okay, I know why it's doing that. It's not the gears, it's the propeller shaft. So I need to get that sorted out when I get back home, but until then, let's send it. Oh my... Holy... Oh my god. Oh no. I'll just turn the transmitter off. I'll just get this out of harm's way quickly, but... Okay, and I've broken the tub, so that's not a good start. So, before I turn that off. So there's the front bumper, there's the, and the shock's gone, so that's not good. Okay, well that was a mistake. God. Well, I didn't have the highest hopes for the Digibee, but it's actually it's broken the, I don't know, hopefully that's not actually part of the... Okay, that's even worse than I thought. I'll have to inspect this when I get home. Alright, so that was a lot to process. As you can see, so the steering, not so much the knuckle. The knuckle seems perfectly fine, but the steering joint is broken. I've not lost anything, which is extraordinary. I've got all the bits and pieces. The bumper, probably going to need to replace that. Yeah, that's all bent. The I don't know if I can actually take that out by hand. I'll have to probably use an external tool. Do you wait, on the left side? No, that's the right hand side. That's the left, which is buggered. It's fine on that side, but in terms of... But the force was just so powerful. No, not just... Okay, so internal-wise, it seems a little bit fine. It does look a little bit like it's bent up round the front. I did worry because I thought I saw a crack somewhere in there, but the force from the hit was so powerful that it's actually bent one of the steering joints. So I could still, potentially, I could still use it, but I'll probably have to get some arms where I can adjust the tracking on that. But that was that video. This video has not gone to plan at all. I'll just take the LiPo out at a later stage. But yeah, this is going to need a trip to the doctors. And hopefully it won't be too much of a burden on my, I'd like to say bank account, but I only use the bank account for surviving. Hopefully it's not going to be too much burden of my PayPal. Let's just put it at that. And I'm going to leave it there. So yeah, and that was that. So that explains why this video didn't go to plan and why it ended up being something else entirely. Now, when I was looking into new metal pieces for the Plasma Edge, well, Plasma Edge 2 to be precise, I was looking at some new metal pieces, and I could be spending nearly £40, which, given what they are, isn't too bad, and what I'll be trying out. But I'll also be getting some A parts as well, probably when I do my next Model Sport order. But the one part I don't actually need to buy, because it turns out these steering knuckles, which I bought by accident one point, but these are practically the same. I don't know if you can see it very well, but these are the same as what's on the TT02B. So it's the same design, because on the plastic equivalent, there's a crack here on this end, so I'm going to need to get those replaced. So that's one thing I do not need to worry about. Anyway, that's it for this week's video. I'm probably going to go on a bit of a week break because I don't really have much else planned for next week. The 2 weeks time actually will probably be something very different. Well, actually, if I can get it done for this time, it's been a bit of a mess, this video, because I didn't really intend it to be anything like this. But whatever, if I do end up releasing anything next week, I'll see you then. So goodbye for now.